is shaping this specific election. Now, 22 million of you, like I said earlier, are on social media, 22 million Kenyans. And on top of that, 49% of Kenyans use social media to access general election news. But how is Kenya being branded outside there and even back here at home, and especially with this critical time of election? Mary, thank you so much for making time to be here.
Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
All right.
Yeah.
First of all, let's begin with the basis here. First of all, talk to us about the 5 pillars. I'm aware that there are 5 pillars that the brand of Kenya brand Kenya rather has, and one of them is the issue of youth. I really want to hear that one.
You know, what we are doing is we've launched a campaign called Plus 254 Tuko na Plus Kibao.
Okay.
This Tuko na Plus Kibao is all about appreciating everything that Kenya has to offer, you know, and appreciating it from our own standpoint as Kenyans, so that you yourself, whatever it is that is positive in your life, you appreciate it. But because this is a lengthy campaign that we're going to run for almost a year, we've decided that let's do it in pieces. Right now, the focus is, can we make sure that we have a peaceful election, and then after the elections, we go about our business. And then the second thing is youth. The youth agenda is so big right now. How can youth be able to see the opportunities that are there in Kenya? So that now, every youth, wherever it is that you are across the country, you look at yourself and you say, already, niko na plus kibao.
Wow.
But on top of it, maybe I also want a job, so that this job becomes now my other plus.
So it's all about speaking positivity and making Kenya look as a beautiful country it is.
Absolutely.
I'm glad you said that this is a year campaign. Because even after election, we still need to show the world outside there Kenya is a peaceful and loving country.
Very true, very true.
And we have more to offer.
We have more to offer, and you know, our biggest challenge was that we were putting a lot of energy as Brand Kenya to brand Kenya outside there, telling foreigners, oh, you know, we have this wildlife, we have all these things, but internally, we had forgotten ourselves. We needed to come back and reappreciate ourselves, appreciate our country, you know, so this is an internal conversation, which now when the outside world sees, they really feel like that's the place to be.
Na nikuulize, mmewezaje recover from mazijo kulikuwa na terrorist attacks kibao in the country? How have you been able to make sure wase wakuku nje wamegundua Kenya mazijo si hub ya terror pekee?
They have confidence in the country.
Wamegain aje confidence ya wase wenye walikuwa na Kenya kitambo?
By the way, it may take a lot of effort to take us back to where people have confidence in us. The effort of Ministry of Tourism, internal security, because you know it's one thing to say you are safe, but it's another thing to be truly safe. So even for the outside world, they needed to see that terrorism has gone down. So the reality was internal security had to do something. You know?
Alafu, kuna hii staff ya unite Kenyans, which is one of the things that your body is supposed to do, sindio? Mmewezaje promote patriotism as in kwa Kenya, apart from kukua Masai? Of course, kila mtu ukienda huko nje unafikiria either wewe ni Masai ama unaenda kukimbia.
And you run fast.
Vitu zingine zenye mmetumia kuweza brand image ya Kenya ama kufanya Kenyans ama youthman wakue patriotic about the country. What are some of the other things you
By the way, one thing I can say is already hata sasa ukiangalia all our communication, we are trying to be as diverse as possible, so that we don't just look at one particular community. But then the second thing is, this time round, irrespective of community, kila mtu ni plus 254. Mimi ni plus 254, wewe ni plus 254, sisi ni plus 254. That is why this campaign is tribeless. It's tribeless, it's about Kenyans coming together
and
to
the
make
power
sure
of
that
unity.
so kila mtu anaangalia positivity yake individually, and then collectively as a country, what have we gained and how can we protect that?
Okay, so what I'm getting is that the government is playing a role through brand of Kenya, but we as young people on social media, be it Instagram, Facebook, YouTube for those who have YouTube channels and so forth, how can we tap into this? How can we plug into this in driving a positive image of Kenya, especially right now in a critical time like elections?
But this, what I can be able to say is, Kenyans individually, mukikwa on social media, you've just got to be very careful. Because right now, things can flare up very fast on social media, where one person posts something, and maybe they meant differently. And before somebody has understood what they're saying, they jump onto it, and they're already tweeting, you know, or Facebooking, or whatever it is, the channel. So before you comment on anything, there are just 3 things we're asking for. The first thing is, please try and appreciate this issue, or even appreciate where the other person is coming from. Because once you appreciate an issue or where somebody is coming from, even your comment changes, because you will not attack them. You add value to the conversation. And then, even as you're adding value to the conversation, you just always have to have it at the back of your mind to protect the country, you know, so that you don't put inflammatory remarks, you know, on a particular issue on the social media, you know. Be balanced in your approach. If it is a particular thing you want people to improve, improve, you say that, yeah? But don't now tear down or even attack individuals on social media. And then the last thing, we must all play a role. This is a critical season, so all of us must be speaking the message of peace. And that is why we're saying +254, tukona plus kibao. Right. So even in the midst of criticizing, you know, or challenging an institution here and there, we must always remember the gains.
All right, okay, Mary, very quickly as well. Youth Connect was happening in Rwanda last week, and one of the key people who really spoke during that time was Akon. And this is what Akon said. As Africans, we've got to be very careful of how we paint the image of Africans. He gave a very critical example. When Westgate happened, there was one story international media took and blew it off the waters. Well, at that same time, there were other terrorist attacks happening in these other first world countries that you would not hear of, and their media wouldn't portray the same thing. Now, with that in mind, here in Kenya, as the media, and now with everyone having a phone, you're sort of like your own media house, right? We have a responsibility to sort of play the role of saying, as Kenyans, despite the fact that we have challenges, this is what the true face of Kenya is. We play a critical role individually in saying that this is the image that Kenya really is, despite the fact that we might have this solution of food security or terrorism. But let's not forget the positive side. What can add to that?
And you know, there's a very big risk there.
Right.
Yeah, because the world has become a global village. Yes. Everybody has a phone, kila mtu ana tweet, na nini, you know, Instagram, photos are happening all over the country. But the risk is, now, how do you help a country when you take a photo of something that is happening instantaneously and you post it online, yet your image, your video, you would have posted it in an institution, you know, or sent it to an institution that could have been able to address that particular issue. NGO. Because now, an NGO or even the police, if you see something bad happening, send it to the police, because they will address that particular issue. Because now when you post it on social media, you're tainting the image of the country, and then now the police are also seeing it from social media, then the media are also picking it, you know. So I think we've got to be a little bit responsible as a country to safeguard ourselves. Right?
Wacha nikuulize swali. Inaongea on behalf of all my youth man huko mtaani. Yeye ushinda ukiniambia, mazejo tujachorwa majob, nimecheki website yenu kuna jobs zenye new offer. What are some of the things, jobs gani mna offer now? Is it easy to get a job with you guys?
Well, it is so easy to get a job by the in government. Yeah, people imagine that it's complicated. I can even tell you my own experience. Yeah, it was not complicated at all. You see a job, you apply, you get. You don't need to know somebody. Like now for us, Brand Kenya, we had some jobs, HOD positions, heads of department. To advertise like in early July, and the deadline was Thursday last week. Yeah, so those people who applied, we are going to take them through interviews, and whoever wins is the one who gets a job. But kuna jobs zingine mob sana. Guys, do you guys ever go to MyGov? MyGov iko na jobs. Yeah, okay. Lakini najua mayouth wa siku hizi, yeah.
Wacha nikuulize.
Wacha nikwambie point moja. Mayouth wa siku hizi wameamua ni business. Na business pia kuna opportunities.
Entrepreneurship.
Yes.
Lakini nataka kuuliza, kumekuwa na economic times zimekuwa ngori yani. As in watu hawajakuwa able to make sure that wamejimudu yani, as in wameget stuff za kuuza ama busy imekuwa tu noma. Nyinyi make sure aje that products zinatoka Kenya to the outside world. Si ndio napata the best first before mtume hizo zingine huko nje. Juu nimeenda majuni kaona ketepa huko ikaikaya huko. Shughuli huko. Kwanza huko hakuna shughuli, huko nje kuna shughuli inatoka Kenya. Hebu niambieni. Hapo nimekumurika. Nataka uniambie how have you been able to survive in these economic times?
By the way, it's not difficult to be able to survive. Because unajua nini? Kuna ile power ya teamwork. Mkiungana kama youth hivi, tuseme mko na idea, mnataka ku set up pengine restaurant ama pengine mnataka ku set up kinyozi, you know, car wash na nini. Mkiungana, there is unity, and then at the same time, muna pull resources, because resource ya mtu mmoja pengine inaweza kuwa it's not enough to be able to set up a particular business. And then pia government step in to help people so that you can be able to get funding for your business. So there's complementarity. Lakini hiyo kitu ya ketepa, trust me, chai yetu ni poa.
Chai yetu ni fit.
Chai yetu ni poa kushinda nyiko.
Na skari ama wapiga PR hapa.
Sikudangani, si PR. Tunaget ile quality kabisa.
Okay, ngoja, wacha niulize swali yangu.
Go ahead.
Tuko diverse sai. Mpaka siku hizi nasikia wapantre yani waindi. Siku hizi ni 44th tribe. Mmewezaje kutumia hizi cultures zetu? Kuonyesha tu wase yenyewe mazejo Kenya inaweza. Cause tunaenda hii time elections na kuna zile tribes zimeonekana zimeanza kanika ni better than other tribes. Nyinyi kama Brand Kenya make sure aje that balance hizo vitu kwa sababu pia sasa constitution may allow evolution, si ndio? Make sure aje that kila county imeweza kuboostiwa in terms of image.
Okay, ile kitu tunafanya about boosting every community, nimeeleza the first thing we've done is like right now tunarani campaign ya +254. Kila mtu ni +254. We're not focusing on any community or anybody from a religious background. Everybody ni +254, and that's what brings us together. But then now ukiangalia counties tumekuwa tukiwork now for the past about a year or so, because counties hazijakuwa branded, you know. These governments zilikuja into force, bado hazijajiform vizuri, ndio sasa tuanze kuzipackage tukipromote nje. So kuna research tulifanya na county government, but now as the new ones come into force after elections, then now we go into promotion, because now the research we have it imetueleza every strength of every county, you know. Then now we are going to promote.
I love that. I love that. All right. So very quickly as well, we cannot afford to not talk about under 18 championships, because I think that was one of the most pivotal moments that we've had in this time of the election. And I say that because also online, it was happening. We were showing Kenyans that number one, we hosted the under 18 here. In Africa, we were the second country in the history of under 18 to hold these championships on the continent. That as well as performing so well. There's that one picture that went viral of all the other nationalities on the floor.
Yes.
Mary, yes. Talk to me about the under 18 and how it painted a good image for Kenyans.
We did so well in the under 18 championships, you know. We did so well, first of all, as a country, by showing the capacity to host. Did you see how Kasarani looked like?
Beautiful.
Even the area views. It was like another place. Na hizo ndio vitu tunasema, because to be honest, we need to start appreciating ourselves, because there are so many good things here. Then the turnout. Kenyans came in huge numbers that at IWF have never seen those kind of numbers before. We broke the record.
Yes.
And then to make it even better, there were music performances going into the night, you know, celebrating the Kenyan culture, Kenyan music. It was fantastic. And then the crown, the crown on top of it is that we not only did not win a lot of medals. By the way, I don't know whether you noticed. We had 5 gold and 7 silver.
Yes.
Hizo 7 silver, hata moja ingekuwa gold, will be the leading.
We'll be leading.
Yeah. So we showed the world we are the home of champions.
Kuna request moja. Mazejo, mulishatoa ngoma, hiyo national anthem. Simtoe video. Video ya national anthem. Hakuna the official Kenya national anthem video ya nini national anthem.
Kuna videos mob sana. Hebu enda YouTube.
Is there an official one?
Official.
All right.
No, not official. Yeah, but there's so many.
You have to make an official
one.
one.
So
we can share
Video, but there's a video we've just done the other day. The +254 Tuna Plus Kibao video.
Yes.
If you go on Google, on Google, even on YouTube,
yes,
you'll be able to get it. Even Instagram, it's there.
Okay, Mary, our time is almost up, but I really want to hear what your message is to young Kenyans on how they can use social media as a platform to push for peace, but as well as showcasing Kenya as this beautiful country, despite the fact that, yes, we are having our elections, there is life after this election.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I know politicians have told Kenyans so many times, there's life after the elections, you know? And I just want to emphasize that message, that irrespective of who you support, you know, at the end of the day, it's a democratic process, yeah? So even after primaries, kuna wengine wali lose, and then life went on, you know? And now that we're going to the general elections, even the ones who lose, they still join in, and we work together to build the nation.
Right.
So if we have that sort of mentality, the best thing we as Kenyans can do for ourselves is we don't want to increase the prices of commodities after the elections, because the only way to increase prices of commodities is if we tear down our country ourselves. And then who's going to be the one suffering? It's just going to be us.
True.
So I would urge all Kenyans on social media, please be positive. When you give criticism, I appreciate the issue before you criticize, because then even the angle changes.
All right, Mary, thank you so much for talking and being here on Youth Cafe. It's been an amazing pleasure. All right, so Mary Luseka, the CEO of Brand Kenya Board, discussing how Kenyans, young Kenyans can use social media to paint rather Kenya as a positive country outside there. We want to take a quick break, but before we do so, I want to quickly tell you of our Twitter question, our Twitter poll that we're using to engage our online audience. And we're asking this evening, do you think social media has changed politics? All right, how? Is it A, making politics easier? Has it made politics worse? Is it more transparent? And there is no impact. We really want to hear from you, so make sure you use the hashtag Youth Cafe. Tweet us at KTN News, at Brian_Aseli, at Zinzi_K, and we'll be right back after this short break. Stay with KTN News.
This is KTN News.